Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hard Hat Highlights, episode number 21. This is where sometimes we talk about what goes on during our work week, and then, of course, Jason has scoured the internet for the most interesting and funny topics that we get to poke fun of and add our 2 cents. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. We could really, really use your subscription. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. But without further ado, Jason Ryback, how you doing?
You know what? I'm doing great. Not as great as Dutch speed skater Joy Bune.
What's up with Joy?
When's the last time you bought a magazine or read a magazine?
I don't believe I've bought a magazine for well over a decade.
Well, Joy's making people buy magazines.
What do you mean?
After gracing the cover of Playboy in her native Holland, she became the first ever to have the magazine reprinted. They sold out all of her magazine covers in just over a week.
You're kidding me.
That's the first time that's ever happened. Word is now Holland is sold out of Kleenex as well.
Must be allergy season. Okay, let's just unpack this for a second.
Yeah.
I've turned the pages of a few Playboys in my day. Actually, one of my favorite things about Playboy, and
Were they stuck together?
Not when I first got them.
Okay.
Let me tell you this, because maybe there's some people out there that don't even know this, but the cover of Playboy magazine has what's called a hidden bunny on it. You know, the Playboy symbol.
Yes.
And they're always hidden on the magazine cover. Mm-hmm. And so when I used to have a subscription, it was kind of a, that was the deal. I'd open it up. It came in the mail. I was like, oh, yeah, I had the black cover on. You open it up. And before you'd even open the magazine, you had to find the hidden bunny ears.
See, this whole time I thought you just bought it for the cologne samples.
Yeah, I like Playboy because I like the articles. Okay, but I've never heard of this. And there's been a laundry list of famous actors, beautiful women that have graced the cover of Playboy. But I feel like that it should have been reprinted, I guess, before. When you say reprinted, it's because they sold out so many.
They sold so many of them that they needed to. There was such a demand that they reprinted it.
And so, like the years you had Pam Anderson, and you name your favorite actress that was on the cover of Playboy. None of those ever sold out. And now here we are in 2024 where I don't even know where you would be buying these. Like, because there's not newsstands and stuff like this anymore. I mean, maybe like a Barnes and Noble or something.
Yeah, I'd say that's about it, really.
And so they're selling that many in this day and age to have to go ahead and reprint them all. I almost wonder if it's like a marketing play. I'm so cynical when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, nobody's even buying magazines nowadays, and you're telling me maybe they just don't print as many as they used to.
Could be. I mean, it's also, we have to remember it's in Holland, so things might be a little different there.
What did you buy one?
I bought 3.
Okay, good boy. Christmas is right around the corner.
Speaking of skating, we talked about those outdoor skating rinks here in Florida.
Yes.
And in that episode, we had been talking about how there had been rumors floating around of a possible NHL Winter Classic coming to Florida. And it turns out the NHL has just announced that they are going to have an outdoor game here in Miami with the Florida Panthers.
Where?
It's going to be at Lone Depot Park where the Miami Marlins play. So obviously,
I like when they do those. I remember. I think you showed it to me that when they did it at Fenway.
Yeah,
they've done that at a lot of other like famous outdoor.
I was
areas.
Actually the last one they had at Fenway. I was actually in Fenway when they were setting up for that. We did a little tour through.
That's cool.
Through Fenway, and they were setting it up. It was the Penguins and Bruins.
You gonna go over to this game?
I might. I think I might.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool game to watch. Especially it's in a different setting. You're in a baseball with there's ice, but you're not having to wear a shirt because it's outside. I mean, I think it's just going to be different.
Yeah. And they haven't said who the opponent is going to be. It's going to be the Panthers, but I'm not sure who the opponent is going to be. But I can guarantee you if it's the St. Louis Blues, you can be rest assured that Radek Faksa will be much better protected.
Why don't you explain that for those people that don't know Radek Faksa?
This week, he nearly had his manhood sliced off by an errant skate of Danton Heinen in a game he was playing. So apparently, skate came up, got underneath the cup, and
it didn't.
It did not hit the. How do we put this properly?
The shaft.
Sure, and we're not talking about a stick. Yeah, did not hit it. You know what that reminds me a lot. So first of all, I think they're going to probably redesign the way cups are now after something like this. Maybe they use some sort of material, kind of like the cutting sleeves that you have
like at D3.
At D3, right?
That we have in the glass industry. Like there's materials now that you could put on that, basically protect all of your arteries and your arms from getting severed off from a sharp piece of glass. Which begs the question, why haven't we moved further along in that, I guess, in hockey? I've never heard of this type of accident happening, actually.
Not in that area. I mean, we obviously, when we were kids, there was Clint Malarchuk, the goalie for, ironically, for the St. Louis Blues, who got his neck sliced, and I believe it hit his jugular vein. He almost died. Oof. And he was just gushing blood everywhere. And after that happened, there was a big call for neck guards, especially in youth hockey. I was playing at the time. I
remember that.
My parents made me wear one. As a matter of fact, I came across a picture of, I had to been maybe, 9, 10 years old. And there's me and like 3 other kids on my team are the only ones wearing neck guards because parents made us do it.
Where is the intersection for you when there's, we've been playing hockey for over 100 years. And now something that hasn't happened, or you can count on one hand has happened in that 100 years time, happens again. And now we want to change the way people wear their equipment and stuff. Like, how many times should something happen, or is it how severe it is? I think, before we have to reinvent the wheel?
I think it's really how much attention it gets. Because if it flew under the radar, then, maybe not so much. But, when it comes to, potentially slicing off the little Schwayadell, it's probably something you want to pay attention to. Maybe we wear some chainmail briefs and have a cup inside of there. I don't know.
It's going to be a lot harder to skate.
But then you remember we talked a while back about Adam Johnson, a player who was killed tragically. And the player who was on the other end of it actually did a little bit of time for it.
I couldn't believe that. I saw that video where he was kind of getting tripped up and he realized someone was going behind him. And I think it was just kind of a natural instinct to kind of throw your foot out there thinking he was going to try and trip him or slow him down.
Right.
I do not believe it was malicious. It was kind of a bang-bang play from what I could tell. And I don't believe that guy had a history of being malicious like that. But that is interesting how that's come up again.
Well, there's no word on if Heinen will face any charges with this incident. We'll have to check the penal code.
That's good.
Hopefully he didn't have UnitedHealthcare.
Oh, my gosh. What is going on with this?
There is so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
So did you see the whole thing about the deceased CEO, Brian Thompson, had implemented an AI specifically designed to deny claims?
Okay. Now, you've done a lot more reading on this I have, although I have been consuming quite a bit of content around this.
Yeah.
Did it say he implemented? Now,
he implemented it.
He
correct.
himself has implemented it.
That's what they're reporting.
And the AI denies claims.
It was specifically designed to look at claims and benefit the company by denying them, because it can search deeper and see what's going on. But the problem is they found it had a 90% error rate. Like, think about that.
I'm not a fan of the insurance companies as it is, and I believe that comes from not only my own experiences, but hearing a lot of, down here in Florida, we do work for a lot of doctors. And I hear people saying, I don't want my kids to be doctors anymore, because they're not actually treating patients. They're actually fighting with insurance companies, and they're pushing paper. And so this is the insurance industry as a whole, I think, is starting to force doctors to do their job differently. And I don't believe their number one focus is taking care of the customers, because there's kind of this underlooming anxiety of like, I don't know if I want to do that because I'm going to have to fight with the insurance company. Maybe we'll just do this.
Yeah.
And so now when you read something like this, it makes it even more egregious.
And I think with everything that's going on, we probably should disclaim we're not being malicious towards insurance companies. Obviously, we know that there are problems with them, but there's a lot more going on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more.
We don't have any planned. Yes. We are just commenting on our opinion of what we're seeing here.
By the way, did you see the McDonald's where he was found, where the shooter was found? Did you see the people leaving reviews on there?
No.
So it was in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and people were leaving reviews on the page of this McDonald's, and all the reviews were saying, like, don't go here, there's rats everywhere, and everything was about rats. Because they turned them in.
They told on them. Can I have an order of flies and a McRat?
It was interesting. But
what about Elizabeth Warren? I thought I saw something with her.
Well, first of all, there was why is this doing this to me? To go back to what we were talking about with the denied claims, there's actually a Senate subcommittee that's been put together to hold insurance companies accountable for denying these claims, which is a good step in the right direction. Hopefully that'll tone down some of the violence and rhetoric. But Senator Elizabeth Warren, she came out and said that this should, quote, serve as a warning, and you can only push people so far before they take matters into their own hands.
That's almost like inciting more.
100%. 100%. It's dangerous.
Never been a fan of Pocahontas.
Yeah. Well, she isn't the only one, though. There's, did you see those road signs? There was, the road signs on the side of the road where it's like a
digital sign?
Digital sign.
Traffic
right?
For the next mile.
Yeah. So there was one where there's these pictures going around where it said, one less CEO, many more to go.
Oh, no. So you can't do stuff like that. I don't like that at all.
I know you saw the wanted posters for different CEOs. It's just...
Those were scattered all over New York City. I believe people were putting them on poles.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then we had a woman from Florida get arrested.
What'd she do?
She was denied a claim by Blue Cross Blue Shield, and she told them, quote, delay, deny, depose. You people are next.
And delay, deny, depose is coming from what they found on all the shell casings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting dangerous. And even more so, there is a socialist apparel company called Comrade Workwear, which I think that name's pretty ironic because work is not what you think of when you think of socialism.
Right.
But I digress.
Well, just let's expand on that for a second.
Yes.
I saw on TikTok Shop that people were selling these hoodies that was a picture of Luigi from Mario Brothers. It was Luigi with like the coat, a hoodie, kind of a face covering.
Oh my God.
But so the name was obviously a play to use the character, but they're actually, social media is now monetizing this tragedy. So it just goes to show that nothing is off limits anymore when it comes to turning it into a business. They're literally taking this guy's murder and turning merch on it through social media, and it's selling.
It's crazy. It's like the world has gone mad with this. We had that whole thing where, remember, they did like a fashion show where they were trying to dress up like him. And it reminds me of like these women that went crazy for like Richard Ramirez and Charles Manson and killers like that. And they're basically throwing themselves at these guys and like, I don't know.
Like glorifying the bad boy. I don't like that's a very dangerous play to go down.
Well, Comrade Workwear has gone right along those same lines. They are releasing a Most Wanted CEOs playing card set. So each of the suits applies to a different...
like the hearts will be tech, spades will be the insurance industry.
Yeah, I think hearts are medical.
Financial.
Yes. Yeah, they go to different industries and then they have pictures of the CEOs and information about them. I mean, that's dangerous. And what they're doing is, I guess they're putting these in with the clothing. So whatever particular article of clothing you buy, you get a certain set of cards with it. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's a marketing thing, but it's also an incitement thing.
That's what I would fear that would happen.
It's just, this is in the wake of the founder of that company, James Har, calling the shooter a quote fucking hero.
That's not good.
No, it's a slippery slope, and it's basically the price of success is almost becoming too much.
Scary.
It's getting to the point where we might start becoming a society of underachievers, and the fear we might get killed for being successful.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Well, it won't be long before laying around in your underwear and playing video games is the pinnacle of success. When a scene right out of a video game, Southwest Florida skies may start to look a little bit different. Did you see this?
I saw it on the cover of that newspaper.
The Naples Press?
The Naples Press.
Yeah.
Who Tim Aiken was also on the cover. I believe that's his newspaper.
Tim Aiken, yes.
Aiken. But I did not read the article. Why don't you fill us in on what it is?
So apparently local airports here in Southwest Florida are moving their infrastructure to accommodate e-planes. So
these are short-term like charters?
These are, so they're electronic planes. They're battery operated. Some of them use a hybrid fuel technology, but their primary use is going to be for transporting goods and for commuting, which I think the commuting, I think both of them are good ideas, especially like for commuting, for example. Let's say you wanted to fly out of Miami. Well, we all know on a good day, that's a 2-hour drive.
I was going to say right now it is 4:30. If we had left our Naples showroom an hour ago to go across Alligator Alley and then hit 595 in that whole area right now, it's a parking lot.
Nightmare. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. So you would have to allow for at least another 2 hours on top of whatever the mileage distances in time. You'd have to add an additional 2 hours.
And then you got parking. You've got all the navigating of everything there.
Yes. So I love the allure of being able to just jump in one of these little things and it drops you right where you need to. It almost kind of like the Jetsons. It would be a lot quicker.
Well, it's cool because you can go. You get better access to parking here at like Naples Airport, for example.
Yes.
And you can take off and you can be in Miami in less than half the time.
And it's electric, so got to imagine it's better for the environment.
Okay, but it's electric. Would you get in one of those?
No.
Me neither.
Okay, I have a problem right here in North Naples just using my cell phone, especially in the intersection of Immokalee and 41. I'm not willing. There was a lot of bloodshed in inventing airplanes. Okay, and it took many, many, many years to kind of figure that out and the roadways in the sky and how that whole thing works.
Mm-hmm.
And now these electric planes are coming out and they're going to be transporting people. I think I'd want to give it a little bit more time before and I'm a risk taker. I consider myself a risk taker. That's not an area that I'm willing to take on right now.
I would agree with that. What is cool is they actually take off vertically like a helicopter. And they look very much like a helicopter.
It's like a big drone.
Exactly. Like perhaps that's what they're seeing in the skies over New Jersey.
I don't know about your feed. My feed this weekend was littered with these things. People, whether they're complaining about it, I saw a video of somebody attempting to shoot these things down. There was gunshots. It was that night he had like tracer rounds.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, I saw that too. And initially, when I saw it, it said, the citizens are doing it. But then I saw it was an actual local police department that was trying to shoot it down. I don't know which one is true. Yeah, obviously, you can't believe
Nevertheless,
everything.
somebody was shooting it down. Then I saw an interview with our national security director. Is it Kirby? John Kirby? John Kirby. And he, verbatim, this is a quote, said, "We have no idea what it is right now." And I found that to be kind of odd. So I just kind of Googled, what is our defense budget? What do you think the U.S. government spends? Let's just use 2024. How much money do they allocate for our defense, if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, I would say it's well over $500 million, probably nearing $1 trillion, I would guess.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. It was $842 billion the U.S. government spends on our defense, which, by the way, I'm not saying that's too much. the sole job of the government is to protect us, protect our freedoms and expand upon our liberties. That's its job. But when you're spending $842 billion a year on our defense, you should fucking know or have the ability to know who is flying that, what the purpose is. And if you don't know, get it the hell out of the sky.
Yeah.
Don't say, we don't know, we're still investigating. And they're kind of just letting everybody kind of rile up and let this fear take over.
I almost feel like that's what's wanted.
Look over here, so something's over here.
Take it even a step further. You've got Alejandro Mayorkas, who comes out and says, well, we really don't have any authority to do anything about this.
You are the authority.
Yeah.
You are the authority.
If you don't know what it is and it's in our airspace, you eliminate the threat.
Yeah. Yes.
Period.
Otherwise, the citizens are going to do it. That the fear of the unknown is the number one stressor, I believe, for any human being. And so when you have people in power telling you, we don't know what it is, we don't know what it is, you're either incompetent or you're lying.
Or both.
Or both. But that was all over my social media. I even did a green screen about it. It was too much not to.
What do you think these are?
I had heard different things. They said that, people were testing to kind of almost to allude to what you were talking about in the last segment, where they're going to start doing deliveries and, they're kind of mapping out things. But it just seemed like there's too many clusters. Like there would only be one. And even if it was, there would be a big press release about this.
Well, hey, wouldn't they just say,
this Saturday we're going to be flying drones because we're testing, proving this new ability for better customer service.
They tell us when the mosquito control plane is flying over. So why would they not tell us what these are?
Then I saw there's a boat offshore that came out of Iran that left a month ago, and all these drones were coming from that ship. Then I saw a woman in Pennsylvania said she saw one of these drones and it was spraying chemicals down. So I don't even know what to believe. I know there was a lot of reports about everything that had to do with these drones, but I could tell you, I don't like it.
No.
It's not that I don't like the fact that there's drones around that we could be using to, again, better our lives. Maybe it's delivering mail or delivering food to people. Who knows?
Yeah,
but the fact that they're not telling us what it is what's aggravating to me.
Well, not only that, it's just with any drone, right? Like I was outside, I don't know, it was several years ago, and it was when drones were, private drones are first kind of quote unquote taking off. And I'm standing there and I hear this buzz. There's a thing right over my head, and I'm like, I didn't know who it was. Like, get the hell out of here. It's almost like an invasion of your privacy. You feel like someone's watching you.
Yes.
So now we have all, 50, 100 of them up there in the sky. They're giant. These things are big too, by the way.
All right, I want to know to our listeners, if random drones, not just one from your kid's neighbor that he got at, on Amazon, but you can identify that this thing's bigger than normal and maybe there's multiples of them. Are you shooting this thing out of the sky if it's near you or your property? We want to know. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, we'd love for you to do that. But yeah, I'm not a fan. It's not that I'm not a fan of the drones. I'm not a fan of all these drones and the government saying we don't know what it is. I don't believe that to be true for 1 second. Not with all the technology we have nowadays. No fucking way.
Look at how we were lied to about the Chinese spy balloon.
That's a great example. That thing started up in Alaska, came all through the country to the other, and they didn't shoot it down until it was over the Atlantic Ocean.
After it flew over all of our military bases, which, by the way, many of these drones are flying over military bases.
What did they say, Langley?
Langley, yeah. Langley was one of them.
Now, if any human being started to go towards Langley and climb a fence wall or something, they would shoot that person. If you tried to break into Langley, they would shoot you.
Yeah.
But if there's drones flying over Langley, it's not a problem? Oh, we don't know what it is. We don't have the ability because we don't know what it is. That's incompetence. I don't think we're going to have to be worrying about that much longer.
Well, it's obvious we're being lied to, much like Crystal Mangum did 18 years ago. The Duke lacrosse case. Remember the Duke lacrosse case? The accuser has finally admitted that she lied.
Okay, her name was Crystal
Mangum.
Not Magnum.
Well,
Magnum.
Mangum.
That was 18 years ago.
Yeah.
I even think there's documentaries on this.
Yeah. Well, now she's admitted that she lied. And you know what her reasoning was?
What?
She was seeking validation, not from God, but from others.
Okay, let's just, for those people, because there's a lot of younger viewers and maybe anybody that hasn't, heard of this story, which I got to imagine you're under a rock if you haven't, but.
Well, my daughter wasn't born. Our daughters weren't born yet.
They weren't even born yet.
So, yeah, that's true. There were.
What's the story?
There were members of the Duke University lacrosse team who were accused of raping a local stripper. And these kids got kicked off the team. They got kicked out of school. They went to trial.
Now, this is a big thing, especially when you're talking rape or pedophilia. When somebody comes out in the news and accuses you of one of those two things, you already lose.
You're branded. You can't put that back.
And whether you did it or not, now when your name comes up, you're like, oh, wait, aren't you the person that raped? Well, I didn't really, oh, yeah, he didn't really do it. That's automatic. Like, I'm not even going to choose you in the fear of maybe you did do it or didn't. Like, you're branded at that point.
The court of public opinion is much stronger than you realize.
Especially when it has to do with rape or, dealing with kids. 100%.
Look at O.J. Simpson. He was found innocent, except in the civil trial, right? He was found innocent. Nobody thought he was innocent.
Nobody to this day still thinks he's innocent.
Yeah. Yeah, so these kids...
So she just came out. Where did this come out?
She was in I believe it was a podcast interview.
But she's in prison right now.
Yeah, as if you needed your own validation as to why this woman is a piece of trash. She's currently serving time for murdering her boyfriend.
Now, this was after the Duke lacrosse. And how much longer after that?
I'm not sure exactly. I do know that she's up for parole in 2026.
So 18 years ago, Crystal Magnum accused a few Duke lacrosse players of rape. And she was a stripper at the time.
Right.
And then this story went on, and it went to court, blah, 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 blah. Finally, these kids were found not guilty.
These kids were found not guilty.
But they were already branded at this point. And at that time, she didn't admit that she was lying. The court just found them not guilty based on lack of evidence or witnesses, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right. Yeah, there was too much circumstantial evidence.
And then just recently, she's on a podcast while she's in prison.
While she's in prison, in her jumpsuit.
And she admitted that she lied during this.
Yeah.
She just made it up.
Yeah. I mean... people that lie about that,
you know what my opinion is.
What's that? Yeah.
That's brutal. You can never take that back for those kids' lives are ruined.
Anyone who lies about something like that should be locked up until their hair falls out and their bladder goes numb.
Oh. I think our next story has something to do with the bladder.
For those with overactive bladders, Liquid Death has come out with the perfect concert accessory.
I saw this.
Pit pants.
I couldn't wait for you to talk about this.
Are a reusable adult diaper designed to keep the music going and your bladder flowing. I'm going to have a hard time looking at the older crowd at concerts.
Okay, you and I, especially 20 years ago, 25 years ago, had spent a lot of time going to many of concerts. And
I still do.
And at these concerts, we, on occasion, would go into a mosh pit.
Yes. I don't do that anymore. I wish I could. But.
Did you ever once think to yourself, just like, Keith, you know what? I can't go into the mosh pit right now because I might have to go to the bathroom. Like, was that ever even a thought?
No. And even further, I never once thought somebody's got a diaper full of piss on, then I could come crashing into them and get a little squirty out of there.
Yeah, or they're crowd surfing, all of a sudden you're holding them up and you're like, wow, man, your drawers seem a little full or wet.
Yeah.
But I saw there was a flash, some of their social media had a flash sale, and supposedly they sold out of these things in like 24 hours.
That's insane.
Now, I don't know if it because it looks like something from like Balenciaga or, it's like this big, they have like underwear that's leather and it's kind of all glitz and glammed
Come
up.
on, let's call it what it is. It looks like a diaper, but it's like it's got like
Leather.
little spikes on it and crap. Like it's like
It looks like something that should be in the 50 Shades of Grey room, the red room of paint. You know, it looks like a weird apparatus.
yeah.
Would you ever use one?
No.
You know, I was thinking about this now that we said, so let's play the other side of this. What if they are onto something and there's some weird technology in there that allows you to relieve your bladder without having to worry about going to the bathroom? Think about over the last 5 or 6 years being out doing installs at glass railings, wine cellars, and never having to stop working to go to the bathroom. Or imagine all the sheetrock guys that were out there that had these on and we didn't have to worry about finding all their bottles of piss scattered all over the job sites.
You are onto something there. You're right. They're little apple juice bottles. You're onto something there. The only thing is, after the fact, especially like for example, you and I were doing a job the other day. We were out installing and we were up and down stairs. So imagine you're up and down stairs with this all day, and now you get a call out because you got diaper rash.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Again, we don't know what all the technology... I don't want to bash the product yet because I haven't tried it. But on the face, it just doesn't seem like something that I'd be interested in.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to pissing on the drunk guy in the corner?
It's so true. Now that's out the window.
I guess chivalry is dead.
Yep, gone.
From leaky bladders to squeaky clean. Yes.
No. We have to... Full disclaimer.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Anybody that's watching right now, let's say from the time that Jay starts reading, you might want to just fast forward about 15 seconds because there's going to be a word that's going to be said that is...
It's probably offensive to some, but remember, it's a quote.
It's a quote.
It's not what we're saying. We're just repeating it.
It's like, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, go.
So from leaky bladders to squeaky clean heads, a British High Court has ruled in favor of an electrician who was fired. He claims he was sexually harassed by his former employer. You see, they called him a bald cunt.
The employer called him a bald cunt.
So the court ruled that since men are more prone to hair loss, it was determined that the comments were sexist and thus deemed sexual harassment.
No shit. The court said it had no problem. Wait.
The court ruled that this was sexual harassment because the comment made, because he was called a bald cunt, the comment made was sexual harassment because men are more prone to hair loss than women. Therefore, the comment was sexist in nature, therefore deemed sexual harassment. It's a strange stretch of the imagination, but that's what they ruled. The court said it had no problem with them calling the man a cunt, since he clearly was for bringing up such a frivolous suit.
Wait, is that you adding that, or is that them saying that? Because you said they ruled in his favor.
They did.
For sexual harassment.
Yeah, they had a problem with the bald part. It just wasn't the other part.
Oh, my God. You know, I think it's Bryce's grandfather used to say, and Bryce passed it on, and I like it. We shouldn't sweat the petty stuff. We should just pet the sweaty stuff.
You got that right.
I like that.
Well, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. If I'm going to have any chance at a successful future, I got to stock up on Playboys and pit pants.
Well, thanks for joining us on this awesome episode 21 of Hard Hat Highlights. And we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, or share. But until next time.
See you then.